So I was sitting there one morning, enjoying my Reese's Puffs cereal and reading the Wall Street Journal, and I came across an article which drew me in. It was about how the Democratic Party's in a very bad place right now. The article talked about how the Democratic Party often mismanages large urban areas, resulting in higher levels of crime, homelessness, and poverty. Cities like San Francisco, the article says. Of course, San Francisco is perhaps the most liberal city in the world. Now, politics aside, even if you left politics out of it, San Francisco is kind of a disaster. But is it the result of the city's politics that makes it such a bad place these days? Sure, the explosion of tech companies to the area has worsened San Francisco's problems, but let's face it, people, this city is certainly not charming anymore. Article after article show that people are unhappy here and many are leaving or at least considering it. On that note, let's take a look at 10 reasons why San Francisco sucks. There's a new man in the neighborhood, lives downstairs and he's underfoot. He's there just to ask me for money, like he's one of the family. San Francisco, oh, I'm so over it. San Francisco, oh, you used to be so lit. 'Cause you see, now you're not a place for me. We begin our list of reasons San Francisco sucks with the homeless. Now, there's more homeless people here than anywhere else in the US. Bums, drugs, needles, tents, naked people. They're lazy, crazy, out of work, addicts, homeless on purpose youths, or likely a combination of all four. They'll wake you up in the middle of the night with their screaming, and the whole city smells like piss. You can't walk one block without being pestered for change or yelled at or both. And the homeless people are very entitled about their situation here. Like, you're a jerk for having a job and an income. After all, the homeless are catered to in just about every single way here. It's practically legal to be naked, and the city's banned plastic straws, but they hand out needles. Can you blame them for being so brash about their lifestyle? Some moved here, some grew up here, some were dumped here from other cities. After all, this is a sanctuary city. Fact is, the homeless people presence will wear on you every single day. For the bums, in a way, San Francisco is the cheapest place to live in the country. I mean, you can just plop down in a tent. But for everybody else, this is the most expensive place to live in the entire country. Rent's like $3,500 a month. Much less than that gets you a flea bag place with thin walls, dirty roommates, and mangy carpets. You need about 5 or 10 grand to establish residency here, and hundreds of thousands of dollars to put down on a home. Who has that kind of money? $250K a year here seems like middle class. You can get a Moscow mule here for $12 during happy hour, but everything from going out to parking to bread and milk costs way more than anywhere else. Taxes are a nightmare. The cost of living here alone is one reason San Francisco lost more residents to outward migration than any other city in the country. A recent study found that half of San Francisco residents and 60% of millennials were considering moving away. People are leaving so often that renting a U-Haul for a one-way trip costs about $2,000 to leave the city, and there's about a 3-month wait. But it's only $100 to get a moving truck going to San Francisco. Another poll shows that about 2/3 of San Franciscans say their quality of life has gotten worse during the last few years. The weather here in San Francisco is really lousy. It's chilly, foggy a lot, and just dreary most of the time. And the ocean water is exceptionally cold, so you can't just take a plunge. You go from one neighborhood to another and it's foggy, and then a few blocks over it's windy, and then it's foggy and windy, then a little sun, and then drizzle all day. You get maybe a dozen days a year when it's sunny and 80 degrees. And on those rare days, if you can stand the traffic, you go to the park or along the waterfront just like everybody else to soak it in. Now, a lot of San Francisco newcomers haven't really felt a big quake. That's because the faults under the Bay Area are eerily quiet. But hang in there, another big one's coming. Living in San Francisco means you're 10 seconds away from having your whole life in shambles. There's just no way to avoid it. And the forest fires nearby are an annual occurrence that can ruin a summer. Fires in nearby mountains rage every year in this state, and the smoke creates unhealthy air. And now, new laws have given the power companies the authority to shut down the power in the area during fire season. So that means you might have an entire day where you have to actually talk to your neighbors and or strangers. Oh my gosh. Let's talk about the San Francisco politics. Now, before some of you get all bent out of shape, you have to admit the politics of San Francisco has become a huge problem, and a reason why so many people are leaving. It's a left-wing echo chamber here, where opposing views that are anything not far left are stifled. Even the New York Times, a very left-leaning newspaper, has pointed out the problem of having such a far left-run government. San Francisco's liberalism is as extreme as you can get. It permeates everything from city services, the way criminals are prosecuted, and the cost of living. And there's no solution because they keep voting in the same politics. This is Nancy Pelosi's district, FYI. San Francisco, oh, we're all so over you. San Francisco, you are now all just poo. 'Cause you see, I don't want more poo on me. Now, if the earthquakes don't get you, the poop will. San Francisco is a literal shithole. In case you haven't heard, the homeless people poop on the sidewalks here, and in the streets, and on your porch, and on your car. We talked about the poop a little bit when we covered LA, but San Francisco's on a whole nother poop level. There's a reason why it's called the Bay Area. As such, if you come visit, do not bring flip-flops. Not only can you not walk up the massive steep hills in them, stepping and sliding in poop in a flip-flop just isn't very fun. There's even a poop app, where everyday people log in and post the location of where they spot poop on the sidewalk. As you can imagine, the app is very full of shit. And the stench of urine is overwhelming, like everywhere. People pee on city streets so often that foundations of light poles are being eroded by the urine and they're falling over. What the?
Poop is gross. I could never live in a place with poop all over.
It is. You're right, Mrs. Mappy.
San Francisco has some really good sushi.
I guess it does, Mappy.
And Asians make most of the dresses I wear.
Okay, that's just not right. Don't say that. Okay, so are we going to ignore what happened in the last video when Mappy went to Memphis and fought that gangster and rescued Juan? Like, Mappy, that was amazing.
Yeah, Juan isn't a bad guy. It's Nappy that I really don't like.
I don't blame you, Mappy. I can't wait to see what you do to Nappy, actually. Alright, well, at some point we'll come back to that subplot. But for now, let's talk about the traffic here. Of course, when you have so many people in one place, you're going to have traffic. The cost of living is a big problem. Most people who work downtown can't afford to live downtown and have to commute into the city from across the bay. Unreliable transportation makes things worse. Muni and BART are pretty much always delayed or late or slow. The Caltrain stops running early. The buses are especially bad with homeless people and crazy people, and they stink and have trash in them. The drivers are notoriously mean or rude. But you might be rude too if you were a public worker in a city that you couldn't afford to live in yourself. So most people have to drive. I mean, you can't bike easily here with all the narrow potholed roads and hilly streets. Now tack on Uber and Lyft, food delivery drivers, Amazon delivery drivers. They all park in the middle of the street and make it worse. Everyone's late for everything, even work. They just blame it on the public transportation. San Francisco's not boggy, it's snobby. It's tech gold diggers, hipsters, rude wannabes, transplants who can't wait to leave, natives who can't wait for the transplants to leave, snobby engineers, broke app designers. It's really transient here, so friends you do make will probably be gone soon. It's very diverse, but that only makes the problem of people not talking to each other much worse. San Francisco used to have a culture that was admired, but now it's been drowned out by shallowness and self-absorption. People here are too cool, too busy, or too pretentious for one another. Everyone's looking out for numero uno. Oh, people are open-minded here. If you agree with them, that is. If you can get somebody to actually take off their headphones and make eye contact with you here, then maybe it would be different. But that never happens. There's more cars than parking spaces in San Francisco. It seems like the city was designed to curb car use and encourage public transportation. Good luck finding a parking structure. If you do, it's like $60 a day, and then you still have to walk far. It doesn't matter how good your day was. Driving around for 30 minutes looking for a parking spot near your crummy apartment will ruin it. And even once you do find parking, you can't leave a single thing on your seat or a druggie will take it. Even a phone charger. The sidewalks literally glitter with glass from smashed windows. 85 cars are broken into every day here after all. The tech scene should be a good thing, right? But it's not. Sure, having one of the biggest hubs for technology is great for stimulating the economy and bringing in new various points of view, but the tech scene's a big reason for all the problems we listed. The class disparity, the traffic, the vapid attitudes, the cost of rent. The tech scene's a blessing and a curse. And it seems like more and more it's looking like a curse. It kind of seems like we've hit peak Silicon Valley, everyone. And you know what happens after the peak? The descent. I think we're seeing the descent now. San Francisco, one of the richest and most progressive cities in the country, is now suffering. Here in a city where the average income is $100,000 and you have to walk around with your guard up. Tony Bennett said he left his heart in San Francisco. Most people that are fleeing this once proud city are taking theirs with them. The end. There's a new man in the neighborhood. Lives downstairs and he's underfoot. He's there just to ask me for money. Like he's one of the family. San Francisco, oh, we're so over it. San Francisco, oh, you used to be so lit. 'Cause you see, now you're not a place for me. San Francisco, oh, we're so over you. San Francisco, oh, you now are all poo. 'Cause you see, I don't want no more poo on me. Hey guys, if you learned something new or you just like this video, make sure to like it. And if you really like this video, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you get all of our videos about what it's like to live in different places in America. Peace.